Stubbs. Cylon Strike Force is turning away from Beacon and inbound Galactica.
Silenced our transmission recall, didn't they?
So when are we going to launch the reserve Vipers to defend Galactica?
There are no reserve Vipers. Everything is on the board already. Now we play for all the marbles.
Galactica. Apollo. Mission accomplished.
This week's Nerd Fights is brought to you by CRAPSA, the Karoga Air, Planet, and Space Administration. Who knows? Maybe one day one of our volunteers will actually survive. Maybe one of our volunteers will actually volunteer. And also by these guys, because I guess for some reason they want to support Salty. Those sons of bitch.
And hey guys, I hope everybody is well on this wonderful day. So it is Wednesday the 12th. Man, the month is flying by. Can you believe it?
It is not sitting still.
No, man, it's just crazy. And we saw Danny for a split second. You all right, Danny?
Yeah, I don't want to get you demonetized. I learned a new rule the other day. So,
well, you know, it's well, that's a whole other thing. But
speaking of time flying by, yeah, I got to turn my keys in a week from this Friday, so I actually start moving into the new spot in a couple, like trickling over the move in a couple days. In the middle of next week, we're getting a truck for the bigger stuff. So, joy.
That's right. You're starting to move.
Yeah.
So, when are you going to be officially out of the old place?
Like I said, I have to hand my keys over by 3 on Friday the 21st. So, to avoid any kind of additional fees and stuff like that.
Right. And you're saying Danny's not that ugly? What, to get demonetized? I know he's not that bad.
Wow, got quite a few people in my chat today. Hey, everybody.
And Captain Phantom Nerd, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Or your chat, I mean. My chat's got nobody in it.
So today we're going to talk about my absolute favorite episode from season 1, and that is The Captain's Hand. But before we
God's Hand.
or yeah, the Captain's Hand. That's from season 2.
That's what we watched.
Yeah, that's what we watched this last week. I was thinking about that because we just watched
Or the Hand of God or whatever.
Yeah, the Hand of God. This is like the one big action set piece of season 1. But before we get into that, just seeing how are you guys doing this week? You look unseasonably dressed, Jason.
I have had to retake Office Life a bunch this week, and I hate it.
Wow. So they don't make you shave for your job, huh?
No, that's been gone for a while, but
Okay.
wearing normal pants and not just a go around t-shirt is definitely part of the deal.
So Jason's wearing pants today.
Yeah, no shorts or PJ bottoms today, or yesterday, or the day before.
So Jason's actually wearing pants.
To be a responsible management person.
Yeah.
Blech.
So management people in his company normally don't wear pants. That's what we've learned today.
When we're home.
Yeah. Does anybody actually wear real pants when they're home to work from home? I mean,
Exactly.
Well, I'm just saying that Jason's management and he normally doesn't wear pants on the job. That's all I'm taking away from this.
excellent.
Yeah. And yes, Patrick. So we're watching well into season 2, and the live streams are still in season 1 because with the new shows like Strange New Worlds take precedence over Battlestar Galactica, and real life takes precedence over the live streams. So unfortunately, while me and Danny have no life, Jason actually has a job. And so, we can't make Jason live stream with us every day. Otherwise, me and Danny would make Jason do a live stream with us every day, and we do a Galactic episode every day.
See, that might get me divorced, though.
Yeah. So,
Don't want that. Don't want that at all. Hey, Anthony, Mark, thanks for joining, man.
And so,
And Penny's out.
Yeah, she's going to church. She already.
Yeah,
She'll be back.
Some people, she's got to go get her forgiveness for all that cocaine she's been.
No, you got it. It's funnier the way she said that, booger sugar. I'd never heard that before. I laughed so hard over that. That was so funny.
It's just and Patrick says wears normal pants and a polo shirt while working from home. Never thought about working without being fully clothed. So there you go. So some people choose to be fully clothed while working, even when working from home.
It's weird. It's not letting me, even though I got a wrench, I'm trying to say hi to people in the chat, and I keep getting this error message. So I'll just tell you guys, it says error, try again. And I've tried a couple times. So hey, y'all. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I see it says hey in the chat.
In mine, it worked in mine.
Oh, okay.
I can't get it to work in
mine.
In yours for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I have once in a very blue moon had. Oh no, I got it too.
Weird.
Yeah. Interesting.
I got the want.
You got some kind of setting going on here?
I got the whammies and no big bucks.
Yeah.
That's not good. Well, I haven't blocked either of you that I know of. And besides, actually, you can't really block someone that has a wrench. I'd have to remove your wrench first.
For whatever reason on this pause, this is going to sound really bad. Because the video screen's real small the way I have my screen split up. For a split second, that looked like Finn holding a lightsaber to me for some reason, just for like a quick second. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong franchise.
Oh, like the black dude's holding the lightsaber?
Yeah, with that giant fluorescent light in the ceiling.
Yeah. And Kato Fan of Nerd says check stream elements, but I'm not sure if he's talking to you or to me, so I'll check because I don't see anything.
Well, it wouldn't be. I can't see stream element or StreamYard stopping it. Like we're trying to type right into YouTube.
Yeah, So
yeah, and it's telling us to get bent.
Yeah, no, mine's working. Oh well, it doesn't matter.
And come on, there. Let me go.
Hey, that works.
Actually,
that's
yeah.
I'll just try
Good
it.
times.
Woot. All right. I guess that's weird. It's working now. Anyway,
so you guys just broke the internet.
Nah.
I unbroke it.
So I always just blame Jason because Jason is an IT guy.
Everybody blames us,
and he's an IT manager now.
And then you also call us too. So
yeah.
So in the spirit of who's more the fool, the blind man or the one who follows? However that line goes. Anyway,
who's more foolish, the fool or the fool that follows him?
Yes, exactly.
Well, problem is
you both curse us and call us.
Well, we call you because we know we don't know this stuff, but then you are supposed to know it, and you clearly don't know it because you say, "Oh, this should work," and yet it doesn't.
Well, you always have to give yourself an out.
Yeah, I think I've told you all this before, but my sophomore year of college, I was going to this. It's called ECPI. It was like a IT school in North Carolina, and I would have blown my brains out if I'd have got a field in that, man. I don't see how you do it. Everything that can go wrong does go wrong. I just that you have to deal with people, and not just people, but like stupid people, like that ask stupid questions. So it's just I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway,
you guys are just jerks.
Yeah, we already knew that about me, though.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's start with our usual old school format. So, hot takes. Hand of God. Any thoughts before we get into it?
The best. Really, please don't try to compare this to the Death Star episode. Death Star. Because believe me, the first time I saw this episode, I'm like, no, they totally didn't watch Star Wars before they made this episode.
Danny?
I never agreed with your statement more that I am Baltar than I did watching this episode, right? Because this was the one where... No, it wasn't this one. Was this the one where... No, it's not this one. No, this is the Star Wars episode, basically.
Yeah, this is the way more Star Wars in this than there is in Star Wars. I think this might have been the episode that coaxed that out of you.
Yeah, this was a
totally Star Wars episode.
Yeah, this is with the tabletop gaming,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. It's the most. I don't know if it's my favorite episode, but it's definitely up there because of the sci-fi adventure action. Is the most action-packed one, I think, up to this point. Anyway, there's a brutal oh my god, the shit we watched this weekend. My god.
Well,
yeah, we'll get into that later. I don't even want to talk about that. Oh.
Yeah,
it's definitely not.
Yeah, some of these episodes definitely harsh and mellow.
Yeah, we're not talking about child trafficking and the heavy stuff. No, I opened up with, this is my favorite episode of season 1, and it really works on on a couple of different levels. It's Starbuck. It's funny because it's an action episode, but it's not Starbuck in action, and so which is really interesting that it's Apollo is the hot jock in this one. Starbuck has to send her nuggets out, and she has to sit back and grit her teeth while she's, the strategic thinker, which is not a role she's used to. And I like the fact
she
that
was grounded this episode. That's right.
Yeah. I just I like the fact this is also a change for this is a change of direction for Baltar as far as his starting to believe that there might be something to the Cylon faith. So
I've got to learn.
Maybe Head 6 is more than just a figment of his imagination.
Yeah. I want to say, Captain Fandom Nerd, thank you. I think you clicked the wrong link. But his message was the tip counts. I'm supposed to go with Jason and learn how to make that. It wouldn't come up on this screen anyway once he teaches me how to do that, because this is salty streaming. I've agreed not to solicit funds on this screen. So you must have got that from my description. I apologize. But he made a comment in the regular chat. So I wanted to acknowledge the Danny special, and his message was the tip counts. Unless it's a fake tip like the Spear of Destiny was in Indiana Jones.
Why am I not seeing it here? Hold on, let me go.
The tip, but only for a minute.
Why am I not seeing it? Oh, because I think, hold on. Go to scene 1. Bear with me.
So we really need that. Stay on target.
I know. Go to stream elements.
While he's doing that, I'll say hi. I'll name everybody off real quick. So, of course, the first person here, as usual, is my mother, Penny. We had Patrick, 47 Yorktown. Alex Moore. We had Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Hey, Gorilla. Then Aravic. Cody Guy. Hey, Cody Guy. Alex Moore. Stanley. Captain Fandom Nerd. And I believe... Oh, and then Thomas Hart. Jason, you don't count. You're on the panel. Oh, Bird of Prey 5 just showed up. Right on. Hey, Bird of Prey. And yeah, my mom's pretty awesome. I dig her. So thank you for that, Fandom Nerd. Did I kill enough time for you? No? So I was watching this terrible episode of television last night called Secret Invasion. And
wow, you're just a jerk.
I totally forgot that there was even another episode.
It was
first of all, Secret Invasion is awesome.
It's barely 30 minutes this episode. I will give it bonus points because Rhodey said that he DDT'd Fury off the top rope and it was some Undertaker shit, and I thought that was hilarious because he referenced WWF.
Oh, the nice,
WWE.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Danny's like, "Okay, I'll give you.
I was like,
I'll give you an extra point."
Yeah. So I did appreciate that. I thought it was funny.
So you're just gonna be a jerk, huh?
I couldn't even get myself to go back and finish watching the other half of last week's episode.
Stanley, of course you would think that's dumb, but as a fan of wrestling, the fact that he even name dropped the Undertaker was just enough for me. But the fact that he said he gave him a DDT off the top rope and then called it Undertaker level stuff or whatever was great. Oh. So Stanley's referring to President accusing him being a roadie, pronouns pal, of being a drunk.
Oh.
Which I thought was funny, because here's the first thing I thought. Oh, wow, people really can smell bourbon on your breath. But I'm bunks. Because I used to be a drunk. Anyway.
Yeah, they can. You didn't know you could smell someone that's been drinking?
I mean, I didn't think it'd be like that noticeable, but like when
Oh yeah.
when the
I had
president
an
said
uncle.
that
I had
to
an uncle that
Rhodey,
was yeah.
it
I
made
had
me
an uncle
realize,
that drank.
oh, that's why, you know, the ex always knew when I lied to her, or snuck in a drink. So, Pappy Van Winkle, he called it $5,000 bottle of 24 karat gold. That was so funny. I actually wouldn't mind trying that if it's real.
I don't think Pappy Van Winkle is real. I swear. And if it is, then a $5,000 bottle of bourbon is way overpriced because it's bourbon. But if it's not Scotch, it ain't worth $5,000. Anyway, so back to the matter at hand. So our episode opens up with a press conference, and our press conference opens up with the president trying to talk about stuff, and all of a sudden she starts seeing snakes. And
Serpents. Isn't that what the scripture refers to it as later in the episode?
Yeah, this is that whole part where they really start laying in the whole Pythian prophecies and everything, and when the
right, and there's two references directly to the Pythian prophecy, the same Pythian prophecy. One is that she sees a dozen snakes here, and the other is that they have a dozen fighters attack the base, and the fighters are called vipers, which are viper is a snake. And so and the prophecy says that there were serpents numbering 10 and 2. So either of those could be a fulfillment of the prophecy.
Patrick says, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on these motherfucking spaceships.
Yep. And so, and the funny thing is that it is so obvious that it is not Mary McDonald's hands, because you never see her hands and her body at the same time.
Yeah, she's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So Mary McDonald's got enough clout to where she didn't have to actually.
You need a stunt double for that nonsense.
Yeah. Now you see, if it was Katie Sackhoff, she would have had to have done it because she was still new at the time.
Yeah.
But so some poor actress had to stick her hands in a bunch of snakes so that Mary McDonald wouldn't have to. Meanwhile,
snakes. Why's it got to be snakes?
Why do you have to mention Indiana Jones?
Yeah, but at least it's from a good movie.
That was the good one. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That was from the good one.
I know, but you had to invoke Indiana Jones at a time when a really crappy Indiana Jones movie is out.
Dude, let me tell you something. Yeah, that was terrible. So bad. I actually, if Kadish doesn't do a breakdown video, I might get a shot.
He did a Mangold destruction video. I think he did the whole thing.
We did a live stream.
Yeah, but it was like 2.5 hours long. I don't have time for that this week.
Yeah.
So racetrack and crash down, or no, is that
Boomer? It's Boomer.
That's not Boomer.
Yes, it is. I just watched the episode earlier. This is Boomer.
Oh yeah, this is Boomer.
Yeah.
Before Boomer went nuts.
There you go. You got a super chat.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Captain Fandom Nerd. Hail, Karoga. The tip counts. Yes, indeed. And Karoga, the tip is all there is. Because, it's Karoga. Thank you so much, Captain. I do truly appreciate it. And I did see the PayPal as well. Thank you so much, Captain.
Yeah. 3 Indiana Jones movies. I agree with that, Thomas Hart.
Well, sadly, there are 5
Yeah.
Indiana Jones movies, and 2 of them are just absolute crap.
Super Snake. That was for Patrick.
This episode, Danny should say Super Snake. Love this episode. Agreed, Patrick. Just for you, Danny did say Super Snake, and thank you for the €6. You are the man. So say we all.
So say we all.
All right. So Boomer and Racetrack are out on the hunt for Tillium because the fleet is getting dangerously low on fuel. Now, I do like that one thing they do consistently on this show is they keep running low on various supplies.
As you would if you're stranded in space, cut away from your civilization and all your colonies.
Right. They already ran out of water. Now they're running out of gas. Spoiler alert, eventually they're going to run out of food. They just, this is not, this is just, you're muted, Dan. Jason, you muted yourself.
Oh, whoops, sorry. I say this isn't Star Trek. There's no Neelix and there's no replicators.
Yeah. So they, so they keep running out of stuff. And on this particular run, they're out of gas. So, and unlike Star Wars, it's not like, what you mean after 40 years of franchise, they finally decided to mention gas? No, this is just, it makes sense.
I remember, and I didn't get the reference because I hadn't seen any Battlestar Galactica yet, but I remember a lot of people saying that was that part of Last Jedi was lifted from Battlestar. But I didn't get the reference until now. I've been watching the show with you guys.
Oh, you mean that they were running out of gas in Last Jedi? I don't know if I would say that they lifted it from Battlestar or that they just. I mean,
I didn't say that. That's what a lot of people on like Twitter and stuff were saying at the time. So I was like, oh, okay. Well.
I mean, you could argue that they kind of got the idea maybe from this episode, but they didn't do the low speed chase from this. That was just lame. However, they find a Tillium signature on a big old asteroid, and they're like, "Woohoo! We found it."
Yeah, in this version of Boomer, it took her a minute to be like, "Hey, we found it." She was just like fighting with her programming, I think.
Oh, that was the water.
Yeah, that was
that also. That wasn't.
No, it wasn't the Tillium.
That was the Tillium. The Tillium was straight up, but the water was like that was the one where she was.
Okay, I thought.
I want to say the word. I can't say the word. She kept saying.
Sorry, Bird. I did not mean to keep my face off camera for you. Anyway, so they're all excited that they found their Tillium. However, then they realize, oh crap, the entire asteroid is covered with Cylons, and there's an entire Cylon base.
Look at this! Look at this comment from Thomas Hart. The next one.
The next one. What is it after this one?
It was, yeah. It says
okay.
Ryan Johnson. Yeah, it says yes, Ryan Johnson, the idiot, admitted he took the idea from Battlestar Galactica in a Rolling Stone interview. Okay. So Ryan Johnson stealing this.
It might not have popped up in StreamYard yet.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so
there's a little bit of a delay for stuff to pop up.
Actually, it's out of order. It's like it didn't even make it. That's weird.
But anyway, it's fine.
Okay.
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the YouTube chat, but it didn't make it into StreamYard.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Did it get blocked by YouTube?
No.
That's weird.
YouTube, I guess. Idiot's a trigger word for YouTube, huh? Shouldn't say that. I don't want you to get monetized.
My comments are so fast they go back in time. That's right.
Like the Flash.
Yeah, that's bizarre. But yeah, so then we get our opening credits, and they decide that, okay, so what do we do? Because chances are every resource heavy asteroid that they're going to find, the Cylons are going to be parked on.
Right.
Because the Cylons need gas just as much as the Colonials do. And since Cylon technology is basically just a more advanced version of Colonial technology, they're gonna use the same kind of fuel the Colonials do. And so Adama gets the ballsy move of, let's just take it from them, which I gotta say is a little out of character for Adama to say, let's just go punch him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But it sets up for an awesome episode, so I didn't really care. Because
maybe he just got all hyped. Maybe he just saw the new Ahsoka trailer and was like, "Woohoo!"
Yeah. Or he just watched Hunger Games and may the odds always be in your favor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Martin got a new girl. Why are they so expensive? Yeah, that's why I'm gonna be single for a while, man. So I feel you there.
Yeah, you say that. You're only saying that because you are single. It's easy to say I'm gonna be single for a while when you're.
Dude, I got. Are you kidding me? I got women hitting me up left and right.
Sure you do.
Oh, okay.
Daniel wants to know if we can talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on Friday. You can talk about it all you want, but you're going to be alone because I haven't seen it and I have no intention of seeing it.
Oh,
so
you haven't seen it.
Tillium, Star Trek Discovery element, ever expanding and causes extreme annoyance and violent eye rolls for prolonged exposure.
GK design, that might be the best.
That's
chat
horrible.
comment.
That's pretty good.
Not even gonna touch that one.
That was good.
All right.
I might have to steal that. I think I might take a snapshot of that.
All right. So they decide they're going to try to steal it. Meanwhile, I do love perfect pause here. Notice this is the official how to defeat the Cylon missile. See it? Put it on your 3-9 line, countermeasures, turn hard into it, and pray.
Pray.
And so make sure to not forget step 5 or you will die.
Spectacles, testicles, watch, and wallet.
Yeah.
My buddy, I heard that for the first time recently. Spectacles, testicles, keys, watch, and wallet is what my buddy said. I was like, okay. I don't know about you, but my balls are just firmly attached to my body, so I'm good on that. Female Tom Cruise needs to work on her Maverick lectures. She's not really the leadership type. I think that was a big point of this episode, is her trying to try that shoe on and realizing it doesn't fit quite right yet. Although I'd say it's kind of where we're at now. Is she the CAG now?
She went back to Galactica to be the CAG,
yeah.
In the point that we're up to now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but here remember, she is in charge of the Nuggets. She's not the CAG, but she is.
I hate to always bring it back to wrestling, but not really, so I will. There's this really funny promo Shawn Michaels cut on Owen Hart back in the late '90s, where he called Owen Hart a nugget, and he was like, and
Oh, I'm sorry, your mic's cutting out. What was?
No, Shawn Michaels was cutting a promo where he says, you know how sometimes when you do number 2 in the bathroom and you flush the toilet.
You know, I don't.
Oh, I remember that. I actually saw that broadcast.
Oh, now you're cutting out. You're both cutting out. I don't know what to tell you. You're both cut out. Both your mics are out. I don't know.
Oh, well, whenever I hear the word nugget, that's what I think of. So I'll leave it at that.
Now that's going to be stuck in my head for a while.
I am not a nugget. Anyway.
Are we done with the?
Yeah, I gotta get back to doing a wrestling show on my own.
Yeah,
channel.
Do a wrestling show on your channel. That's what your
saying.
channel.
I gotta get it out of my system. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because this is the no square circle zone here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes. Jeez. And Stanley, I don't know why you're saying rest randomly. Mission Impossible ? If you're asking if I'm planning on seeing Dead Reckoning, the answer is in theaters, no. Because don't get me wrong,
saving his theater money for Barbie. That's the big hit of the summer.
It's funny. My wife actually wants to see that Barbie movie because it does look rather funny. But no, we're not going to see Barbie in theaters either. We'll see Barbie when it comes out.
Really, people are calling the week. I guess because both shows are coming out the same day. They're calling it Barbenheimer. They're like they're saying Barbenheimer weekend will save the box office. Have you heard that phrase?
Barbenheimer.
It's combining Oppenheimer and Barbie. Barbenheimer. Right. You know, you haven't heard that? I guess you don't really get on Twitter. I forget. Yeah.
I hadn't seen that one yet either, but I want to see Oppenheimer, but I'm not.
I'm not. None of all three of those movies that you guys just mentioned, I'm not seeing in the theater.
Yeah.
Marvels I will consider only because I'm a Marvel completist. And Oppenheimer.
What's the point? A month later, it'll be streaming. Like literally this week.
So no one is going to go to that, and it'll be on Disney Plus before you even get out of the theater.
Yeah. No, because I believe their launch, it's either this week or next. Flash is going to be on HBO Max already.
Right.
Crazy.
Well, that's because Flash was a complete flop. And the funny thing is, everybody expected Flash to make $1 billion, but Flash just completely tanked.
Yeah. Well, it's their own fault. They should have gotten rid of Ezra Miller. I'm telling you, that's what killed it. But we digress. Back to the show.
Yeah. And no, Stanley, I'm not really interested in seeing Cillian Murphy in full frontal nudity. That doesn't.
Can they already do that in Peaky Blinders? Who cares?
That's not a selling point for me to see a movie, is to see some dude naked. I mean, it wouldn't be a selling point for me to see some chick full frontal either. That's not a reason to see a movie.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure for Danny's like, no, it's not.
No, not to spend my money at the movie theater. Look, unless pretty much nowadays, unless it's something my kids want to see, and I can enjoy the experience with them, I'll just wait.
It sounded like, because I said to say some chick full frontal. No, it's not, unless it's something my kids want to see. It's like, wow, dude, you're a very liberal parent.
It's not what I said at all, but okay. All right.
That's like the selective, so what you're saying lady who interviewed Peterson back a bunch of years ago. Distorted everything into the worst version possible.
Well, I'm saying that is what he technically said.
Not at all. It's not anywhere near what I said.
You said, and I quote,
rewind the tape. No.
Yeah. All right. So Adama comes in, says he's planning an op, basically says needs her out of the box thinking to plan the op. She's like, out of the box is where I live. Because, you know, that's kind of true.
And she looks like such a baby there.
Well, this is 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so anyway, back to the. We really went into weird territory there. Back to Colonial One. So the priestess is meeting with the president, and the president tells her about the vision of the snakes.
Right.
And she tells her it's like a dozen, and then she explains to her about the Pythian prophecy about the snakes numbering 12 and 2, which she has freaks out. Then they show the most awesome tabletop game ever that everybody wants. You know, at least every fanboy of
yeah, you're right. This is a separate run on a much bigger table than the one on the CIC. Okay.
But I still want it.
That'd be hilarious to have as a big dining room table, giant lighted table.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll take it. You know, just have that big lit table and all those little models on the side, and you know, and you know, and they just happen to have 3D printed the new style of Cylon ships, and you know, Raptors and fighters and all that.
You know what? There's you terrible man. You just saying that.
Yes.
No, like
so they must.
stuff.
Did they send somebody off to like carve up the soap to make a bunch of those new Raiders? Because
Exactly.
you're right. Because they would have never seen them before.
Exactly.
Well, look, he's got a 3D printer. They're presumably way more advanced. They've probably got.
I hope so. I hope so. But
I would assume they have some kind of 3D printer to do that.
But man, I'm sitting here going, you just broke my brain on that, because I never ever even thought about that.
Yeah.
That they just randomly have all the perfect models for everything.
Yep.
I mean, I can understand their ships, but the enemy ships?
Yeah, like they should have had old school Raiders.
Yeah, because the Cylons disappeared for 40 years. Gone. Nobody saw them.
Yeah. Until they saw them at the beginning of this war.
Exactly.
And so, yes, but I do like, I do really like this table. I want this table very much. And I do like that they already have it perfectly set up for this attack, you know, perfectly labeled with this Cylon base, you know, how they're going to attack it and everything. It's just too perfectly set up. But yes, this is awesome. They're little cute little Raptor toys and all their, all their little toys. And so then they show how they're going to do their initial plan. And boy, Eagle Moss should sell these. I mean, the heck with making these perfect looking replicas. Make these.
Just make these derpy little substitute models.
Mm-hmm. So then they're looking at their cam footage of the base and trying to figure out what they're going to do. Baltar, of course, since he's the scientist. Now, Baltar, look, this is one thing that I do. I get it that they're limited on their resources for the show, but Baltar is a scientist who seems to be an expert in every field of science. Have you noticed that? Like when they need a biologist, he's a biologist. When they need a physicist, he's a physicist. And so here he's a physicist, you know.
Having a lot of cast is expensive.
Yeah, I know. And so he's and like he's a better biologist than Dr. Coddle, you know. And here he's a physicist and a chemist and all that, you know. So yeah,
Nobody appreciates a Renaissance man, apparently.
yeah. So Baltar explains exactly how Tilium reacts to explosions, and if it's refined, then they can make a really nice big boom. Yeah, he's a genius, playboy, billionaire, philanthropist. Yes.
Well, I don't know about the philanthropist part.
Yeah. Philanderer.
Philanderer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spelled philanderer wrong, Patrick.
And so then meanwhile, Danny gets one of his fantasy scenes where getting a massage.
I'd have preferred the roles were reversed. I mean, like there's way more of his skin than her showing, but it's all good.
No, I'm saying you would like to be getting a massage from 6.
Sure.
Oh, really? You wouldn't?
I mean, I'd let her massage something, but we don't need to go there.
Wow, I'm okay. So you wouldn't want to get a massage from 6. So there you go. Danny would rather be getting a massage from Adama.
Okay. Didn't say that. That's fine.
Well, that's kind of what you said. Yeah, you'd rather get that come here. let me rub your shoulders.
Yeah, man, you just took it to a really creepy place, so that's fine.
Yeah, well, no, that's not creepy at all. You know, Edward James almost rubbing your shoulders.
That's very creepy. That's almost as creepy as Joe Biden rubbing my shoulders.
No, you just sniff your hair.
Yeah.
While rubbing his shoulders, though. You know.
Anyway, so then we get this really intense scene where Starbuck thinks that she's going to fly on the mission. She has no intention in sitting this out, and so she's working out her bum leg, and so Adama's like, "Yeah, your leg ain't ready for this." And she's like, "No."
Yeah, and he keeps loading weight onto the machine.
Right. He's like, "Yeah, you got to pull 6 G's in order to do this. So let's put enough weight on here for 6 G's. You got to hold it for 10 seconds in order, or you're dead." And so he puts it on, and she can't hold it. And then he says, "Yeah, that was 3 G's."
Yeah. And hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining. I'm not sure. I think you're new here, so I'm glad you found us. I'm glad you love Battlestar Galactica.
Hey, Lisa. How you doing?
Yeah. My first watch, so.
And so then studying.
Yeah, they're just coming up with their plan here, how they're gonna deal with this.
Well, this is where Starbuck and Apollo, because Apollo is very unsure of himself because he's not Starbuck. Everybody thinks Starbuck should be flying the mission because she's the hotshot pilot. She's the one that everybody thinks should be flying the mission. And and Apollo included thinks that she should be flying the mission. And
unless they give her one of those bionic legs Tony Stark made for Rhodes, I don't think she's gonna.
Well, interestingly enough, she did star in the Bionic Woman, so the remake of the Bionic Woman.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
She played a bad guy in it.
Yeah,
yeah.
You told me about this before, but then I think you also told me not to bother watching it.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It's pretty rough. Yeah, it's a pretty rough show.
So the.
So Lisa, actually, everybody here, don't forget while you're here, please, whichever chat you're in, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. But Lisa, just for you over in my chat, because it's just you and me in there. Here's the link. No, that's the wrong link. Don't want to give you that one. Sorry, that would have you joining us. Here's the link to Salty's channel, where the where the majority of people are right now chatting, so you can kind of keep up with everybody else if you want by going there.
All right, so back to so Lee is feeling a little bit of an existential crisis because, of course, he thinks that he's got some self-doubt going, and Starbuck is not helping because she's kind of saying, "Don't frack it up." And meanwhile, on Cylon occupied Caprica, they're hanging out in a barn.
Yeah, he's gonna get a reveal.
Yeah.
He doesn't
yet.
know about yet. He gets a reveal, but he's being a dummy.
Well, not on her. I'm talking about the 6 reveal. Like you hear in a little bit, he's gonna see another version of 6 walking around and be like, "What the heck? How's that possible?"
Oh yeah. But she also does the vomit thing here too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, somebody's preggo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're just hanging out in the barn, being Barney.
Yeah, being lovey-wovey.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that! I just got you a sub. I'm guessing that means she already subs to me. So thank you.
Oh,
Lisa.
thank you.
He appreciates that. And Martin, I'm not sure, but thank you. I guess maybe what the support is. But I did put our sponsor link in there. If you want to pin it, that's up to you.
It's in the description to the.
Okay.
Remember, I have it on all my videos now. Is the
Very good.
description.
Very good.
All right, so love the
Excellent.
full-size Viper. Just and notice it's just getting scrungier and scrungier every episode now, because
it's
they
getting grimy.
Yep.
What's the name for those jeans you can buy? Was it stressed jeans?
Yeah.
It's a stressed Viper.
Yes. So Lee is sitting there stressing out over the mission, and then his dad shows up, gives him the lighter.
His grandpa's lighter. Yeah. These scenes are now it's coming back to me. This is where we first started.
This is where we start hearing that music.
Yeah,
the whistly Irish music. Like, stop making me cry.
I know, it just starts to tug at those heartstrings.
Seeing this is where we first see the name Joseph Adama, Lee's grandfather.
Joseph.
We hear about the fact that Joseph Adama was a lawyer, and he was tough as nails and all that. But that he said that he would never lose a case if he had that lighter with him. And so, so he gave it to him to take on the mission, and that he expected to get that lighter back after the mission. And then, meanwhile, in Sparky Land, they wake up, and
this is when he sees
he looks
Blondie.
out. Yeah, he looks out, and there he sees 6, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I killed her."
Well, he didn't kill her. Boomer killed her.
Boomer killed her.
But she died in his arms, I think is what he says.
Yeah.
So
they're like, "Well, guess we're gonna go." All right, and so now the rest of the episode is pretty much the mission, and so the remainder of the episode is like the most awesomeness of awesome.
And remember, if you go to supportsalty.com, you can watch our reactions right there in real time.
You sound so cheesy when you say that.
For as little as just $5 a month, that's supportsalty.com. Support them today. Only on Patreon.
You sound so cheesy.
And the cheese is is deliberate. A good burger has to have cheese on it. Come on, man.
I saw some guy, he does like challenges on YouTube, and he's got like 10 million subscribers or whatever, so he can do whatever. And one of his subscribers challenged him to go to a McDonald's and order a burger with 70 slices of cheese.
Well,
So,
since they have those
yeah.
touch screen order menus, you can pull that kind of stunt quite easily now.
Well, no, he had to go through the drive-through.
Oh wow, that would be a little bit more of a challenge.
And so he did it, and he pulls out the burger, and it's like this tall. It's got like a brick of cheese on it. You know. It's
oh man,
it looks absolutely.
First of all, McDonald's doesn't even use real cheese; they use processed cheese product.
Yes, I know. It's pasteurized, processed American cheese flavored food.
Yeah,
it's like the cheese in a spray cheese in a can, but just in a sheet format.
Lisa's firing shots at McDonald's employees. That's hilarious. She doesn't like they can count to 70.
No. I'm sure that the manager counted for them.
Oh yeah. As a side note, yeah, Stanley is right. This has definitely happened. So people have gamed the system and gotten whole free combos and sandwiches and all kinds of stuff at McDonald's.
Really?
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, it's like they add the things in and then subtract the things back out. There's some weird combination of things that ends up causing the price to go to zero.
Wow.
And then it goes through and the order comes up and you just collect your... Because there's no human to validate it. The kitchen just makes it up and then some guy goes, order
Stupid
$8.25,
machine.
come and get it.
Yeah, stupid machine.
Okay, back to the real world, not the fake world of McDonald's. The real world of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got I like how they have their little names written on their little toys.
Yeah.
Very comic book font. Very comic booky.
All right.
Yeah,
So
almost Comic Sans.
Yeah.
Not quite. Almost, yeah.
Yeah. And the cool thing is it's like they're this is one of those elements of realism is that in space, if you're, a couple 100,000 miles away, a ship like a Raptor would easily be able to keep tabs on you, but it would be very difficult for them to see you. And so, because Raptors are designed as surveillance. So I kind of think that's kind of a cool thing. That they try to make it so that it's very easy, like if you're a big target, to be spotted from a large distance away. But it's very hard to be spotted if you're a single ship floating around in the ether. All right, so we got a couple of Raptors floating out there, just kind of watching things to kind of keep tabs, while everybody else is kind of maneuvering into position. And then that's when all the fireworks begin to fly. So you have a small group of civilian ships.
I like how they keep the actual plan kind of secret from the president and pretty much everybody, which is kind of cool.
So what's in the foreground here is a small group of civilian ships, which the strategy is they appear to be doing mining operations, and they're not making a secret of it. So they're communicating open channels so that the Cylons will hear them. The Cylons will, of course, launch their raiders to attack. And then when the Cylons start heading there, then a couple of the ships will jump away, but a couple of the ships will be stuck there like their FTL drives are malfunctioning. Mm-hmm. And that will lure the Cylons closer in order to get them to lure away. Meanwhile, Galactica, which is way over here, will launch its fighters directly towards the base. Now,
You know, not to be that nerd, but clearly these are not to scale, but that's fine.
well,
Yeah.
a Viper being the size of the Galactica, that would be kind of
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah.
That would be very 1980s Transformers.
Yeah.
You know, Megatron turns into a gun that a person can hold.
Yeah. Yeah. That's weird. Hey, man, nanobots or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then, of course, the Cylons bite hard, as they say. However, then
So I don't get yelled at by Salty
yes.
for some stupid reason, for whatever reason, even though they're perfectly legal. These are get him in trouble on the YouTube. So that's why I'm just so you're not getting mad.
Bubbled out. Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah,
here.
you could just do what you did on the other live stream and not smoke while we were doing the live stream.
No, but I did. Didn't you notice I did the same thing? And then we went to members only. He said, "Oh, members only section, you can do whatever you want." So I was smoking that whole
No,
time.
you just didn't smoke.
Until I did again. Like when he said it, I put it out, and then later I did the bubble thing. You got to remember, he's used to talking to those, Midnight's Edge guys and all those guys who never show their face. All they are is the bubble.
But I prefer having people's faces on.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, to be honest with you. I mean, at least Doomcock, wears a mask if you don't want somebody to see it. Like, but if you're on a video platform, I should,
I think people should have their faces on.
I do too.
More and more are doing it. That's for sure.
Because it takes away, I got into it on this wrestling. I was on somebody else's wrestling stream, and the dude had a little one of these, and he was being a real jerk, and I couldn't tell if he was trying to be a wrestling heel, and playing doing a character, or if he was being a jerk. So I put him in his place, and I started talking to him so I cut a heel promo on him, just bashing him. So finally, I get him to turn his camera on. And without missing a beat, so his face is right there, and he's got a bit of a gap in his teeth. I was like, no wonder you hide behind that bubble. I could park my car between the gap in your teeth, and then he just goes back to the bubble like a little wounded puppy. It was funny.
Oh, you mean like you do?
Sometimes, yeah.
But you come back.
Massive, but I come back.
But you come back.
Sometimes.
Most times.
All right, so we have Stubbs and Boomer are the ones that are keeping an eye on things. And so the problem that we run into is that the Cylons just pick up the Vipers. What was it? The Vipers were being recalled back to Galactica because it wasn't. I'm trying to remember what it was exactly, but the mission wasn't going according to plan. So the Vipers were being recalled. The Cylons picked up the Galactica's transmission, so all the Cylons started heading straight to Galactica, and so all of a sudden, all those raiders, hundreds of them, were beelining for Galactica, which of course got Baltar panicking.
Yeah, because he didn't even know some of this stuff.
Right. So Baltar was like, okay, so when do you launch the reserve Vipers to defend Galactica? And he's like, there are no
reserve Vipers.
Yeah. And
what is it with him? You know what I've noticed? Him and Harrison Ford, is my same impersonation. They both have that gravelly voice and talk like that. It's kind of. You notice that, especially the older Harrison gets.
Yeah.
Anyway, Just a weird observation.
Yeah.
And Martin, please don't say stuff like that, because that's why I had to come on and admit to the cancer stick, because I've promised him I will stay. I have to be clean and sober on Salty Show from now on. So don't make those kind of jokes. You need to be
clean and sober, period, dude.
Well, I know, but at the very least, I promised you on your show. You know, I still occasionally use the cannabis to go to sleep, but I don't smoke it during the day anymore. So.
Well, you shouldn't be
baby steps
at all.
Yeah, we'll go baby steps, man.
No, it's not. Don't be telling me baby steps. You shouldn't be doing it at all.
Yeah.
It's like saying, "Oh well, you know, I just don't drink when I don't drink."
That is also a true statement.
Yeah,
you know what else is a true statement? I don't keep alcohol in the house.
Yeah, but you know what? That's still, you know, not gonna.
What's Stanley's? What's his jacket he's referring to? Was this some kind of typo?
Surprise the Nehru jacket and
yoga pant look caught. Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one, Stan.
The Nehru jacket and yoga pant look caught on through.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Doomcock was some kind of pimpled face.
Yeah, Doomcock is George. Can you imagine?
Yeah, yeah, no, he's some pimple faced pussy that's hiding.
Hey, dude, don't get. We do not personally attack people. All right, we got more class than that.
My bad.
And first of all,
integrity for hiding himself, and all he does is spew, hatred in division.
You know, first of all, and what he's wearing is a band jacket. That's what he's wearing. Is
he talking about Doomcock?
Yeah, I think that's.
Oh yeah, that's like a band, like a drummer's jacket or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a marching band jacket.
It just kind of feeds into my whole. He's some high school pimple faced kid who's been doing this.
I don't think he's a high school pimple face.
Maybe he's a former drum major, and that's his drum major jacket.
You know.
You know how those band nerds are, and I actually do know band nerds, but that's fine.
But look,
what up, Chief Cook?
But I'm not going to insult the man, just because I will tell you, drum major is a serious skill.
No, I know, man. I know. I've known a couple drum majors in my life. It's fun.
So, and it's a skill that I do not have, and so. I disagree with his methods, and I've told him to his face that I disagree to his methods. I would never say anything about Doomcock that I wouldn't tell him to his face.
I agree, but I'll never meet the guy, so I don't care.
Yeah, but I would never call him what you just called him, because that's just insulting. And in fact,
I do think it's a little chicken, to do what he does. Like if he ever, has the man ever put out one positive video, like one?
Not that I know of.
Not without having to flip around and play is the glass half empty or the glass half full game. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I disagree with that. And I've told him that. I don't like the fact that he does that. But
so you got two ends of the spectrum here, which is kind of funny. So you got Doomcock way over here, who's like hates everything, and then you got Kevin Smith over here who loves everything. You know what I mean? Have you
noticed that? I don't agree.
Yeah, that's also
I don't agree with that either.
Yeah.
So I was watching his latest show, and he doesn't drink, and he was talking about how he was like 23 days without pot, or 23 weeks without pot or whatever, and they were like, well, this drink is vegan. It's called Blue Milk, and he had like 6 of them, and by the end of it, he was actually uncharacteristically talking smack about stuff, which was hilarious because the liquor loosened him up or whatever. Okay, Thomas says that he's talked positively about the Orville. Really? Okay.
Yeah, but did he do an entire video only on the Orville, or did he use it as a stick or a cudgel on something else that he didn't?
Right, like where he would say, "And this is why Star Trek sucks."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That was pretty close.
That's the problem. Is
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Thomas says it was an entire video. So,
Okay.
Well, if I didn't,
well, that's
have the
better.
guy-
That's better than nothing. You know, we'll call the balls and strikes where they need to be. But
yeah.
unfortunately, the preponderance of his work is extremely negative or attacky.
Yeah, I mean, so much so, like, I don't follow him in places I can. I actually have him blocked, and I really actually don't like talking about him. I'm sorry I brought him up or how he even came up.
Yeah. Let's get back to awesome space planes. Oh,
Yeah.
But first,
Super chat.
Ooh, do we get a super chat? Awesome.
there we
Arabic,
go.
thank you so much. Says, hi, Salty. Just saw Razor. Is that Cylon God?
Wow, we just watched Razor too. Is he a Patreon? Did you put it up there already?
No, I haven't put it up yet.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, what a coinky dink. We just watched
Yeah.
that Sunday.
We watched it just this weekend. No,
he's the first hybrid.
Yeah, I mean, they said in the subtitles hybrid, so I figured that part out.
Yeah, and that was Adama, Admiral Adama was talking about the fact that when we did that flashback, that was the first, or no, it was Boomer was saying that it was the first hybrid that they had ever created, and that it had vanished, and it was even a legend within the Cylon culture that they didn't even know where that ship had gone off to. So
Thomas, he won't let it go. Gary shows his face. Nerdrotics and Heels versus Babyface. They show their face. That's where my beef is. Like, if you're gonna,
not only that,
behind a
like,
mask, if you're gonna be so hateful and negative, at least don't.
Yeah, like the only person left out of all the IFAP guys that doesn't show their face is Mauler, and he may have at some point, but almost everybody else shows their face. Disparu shows his face, and he held off from that for a long time. So yeah, Doomcock is the only guy that stays hidden.
Yeah. I don't care about Doomcock not showing his face, because there are plenty of YouTubers that have never shown their face. However,
but not like that with that style.
Well, the masking, that's a gimmick. I don't care about that. He pretends to be a supervillain, whatever. However, the thing that I don't like is the fact that video after video, you want to claim that he's not negative. Okay, let's look at his, let the facts speak for themselves.
Let's get back to the pretty shit.
Well, no,
yeah,
I know, but I just want to, I just because since
damn you, Thomas.
I know, but since the people in the chat want to talk about this, I just want to lay this to rest real quick. Here's the last few videos from Nerdrotic. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny review. Indy is Fleabag's sidekick in KK's final whatever.
Do you mean? Hold on, stop. Do you mean Doomcock or do you mean Gary?
This is Doomcock.
Because you said Gary.
I'm sorry, I meant Doomcock.
Oh, that's okay.
Is Kathleen Kennedy fired? Is the Twitter rumor true? This latest explosive leak. Disney spent $312 million in the Acolyte. This latest Star Wars rumor. Kennedy publicly humiliated by Spielberg in Indy 5 premiere.
Man, he's got a real hard-on for Kathleen
Harrison
Kennedy.
Ford admits Indy 5 ending reshoots. Confirmed John William Calamity. Disney panics. Chief diversity officer is gone. The Flash is an elemental bomb at box office. Audiences shun Hollywood.
Stan makes a really good distinction. Look at what he says. Reporting, it's fine to report about problems, but to enjoy the failure is bad form.
Right, and that's what he's doing over and over and over.
Thomas seems to think that this is supporting his theory that is George Lucas.
Yeah, that would be actually. You know what? Here's here's the crux to that theory. George is pissed that at first Disney ran off and made a pile of money real quick off of Star Wars, and this is just him secretly behind the scenes, just stabbing at the air constantly. Yeah.
All right. So, but no, it's just negativity after negativity after negativity, and I don't like it. It's one thing, like
what up, LD?
To report the facts. It's another thing to relish in when other people fail.
Yes.
Well, not just relish,
want
but
that.
like revel. It's a
Yeah.
reveille
Mhm.
because it's different. It's like to put a good to keep it in mind. There's a lot of other people that may have greater than 50% of their content seems negative, but it's not that much more than 50%, and they will point out good stuff when good stuff comes out. But Doomcock, puh, if he does, it's exceedingly rare.
Right. Anyway, back to the fun.
Yes.
Right.
The excellent space planes.
The excellent space planes. Oh, space planes. So the space planes are heading back to Galactica, seemingly tuck and tail and running. And everything.
Cylons are going to do their flippy dippy doo-dah.
Yeah, the Cylons are doing their flippy dippy doo-ah, and then there's Baltar looking very concerned. And then this is where he's
freaking out.
Yeah, where's the reserves? And I like this where Adam was like, "This is where we play for all the marbles."
Yeah, and then it was like what I forget exactly what the little the coded message over the radio.
The
it
back
was like,
door is open.
The back door
yes.
is open.
Yeah.
And so when they send the message, the back door is open. The Colonial Movers open up a cargo container.
Lip gloss. Thank you. Yeah, leave it there for a minute. Anyway,
you were just which I love this shot because
this is a dope shot. Oh man, like
this shot gave me.
I wish you could just play a clip for a little bit.
I'll play this for just a second, but this shot gave me tingles the first because I always loved this ship because it literally is cargo containers glued to a thruster.
Yeah, it just reminds me of one of those, shipping cargo.
That's all it is. It's shipping cargo containers glued to a rocket ship.
Yeah.
And so then we see one of the shipping cargo containers jettisoned off to reveal a dozen.
Dun dun dun. Pause. There you go. Yeah, I don't want us to get in too much trouble.
And,
that was so cool.
That's like, oh crap, this was part of the plan.
Yeah. We don't just deliver sofas.
Yeah. And so I immediately thought, best strategy ever. So the whole plan was to lure the Cylons to attack the Galactica so that they could then get the Vipers to launch from here to attack the base.
And it's already right by the base, and it's been abandoned by the Cylons.
Yeah. And so
maybe Starbuck's not so bad at this planning thing after all. That's why I say it takes a little, like, I've noticed that, like, this is where she begins this kind of leadership journey that she's kind of on right now,
Right.
Yeah. Where we're at in season 2, I mean, so.
Right. And this is where, and now we get Apollo leading the strike group.
See, it's too late, you passed it, but that one shot you had it pause on a second ago looked better than most crap we get out of Star Wars. It looked more like Star Wars. Not the one where it was the side shot. It doesn't matter. There was where it was like that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and then
right.
And you see them shooting and being shot at and blowing up and
right. This was more like Star Wars than the recent Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And which is kind of a shame.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we get the Vipers skimming the surface, and at first you're thinking, wait a minute, how could the Vipers be flying like this? But then you realize this is an asteroid, not a planet, so they could probably do this.
No real atmo, if anything.
Yeah, no atmosphere, low gravity, and and there's Chuckles. Oh, poor Chuckles.
Yeah, he had to get ready to go be a small part in the Expanse. So
Yeah, but
20 years later.
Well, not quite 20 years, but
15 years later,
a few years later.
But Chuckles was in a few episodes. We would miss him. Poor Chuckles. And so Chuckles bought it, and then here we see them fire their when they fire their missiles. The Cylons have. I'll just show it here real quick that the missiles are deflected by some kind of electronic jamming. So they're like, "Oh crap, we're screwed," because they can't get in close because of all the anti-air defense, and their missiles can't get in because of all the jamming. So they're like, so that's when all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, look at that handy trench." And I think I saw some movie once.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if they would have had a throwaway line where somebody was like, "Hey, I got this idea. I saw it in a movie once." You know, that would have been funny. That would have been good.
Now, this is the most Star Wars looking shot of the entire episode. Like you see, if you look right here, you can.
Oh yeah, all the pulses or whatever flying around.
Yeah, you can see the machine gun fire coming up from the surface. He's trying to outmaneuver it. Now, the big difference is he's maneuvering like a space plane, to quote George Bush. And so when you see him, he flies backwards for a few seconds as he maneuvers.
If we're quoting George Bush, I'd like to say that Starbucks showed a lot of really good strategery here.
She did. She showed how to properly strategize the space planes.
Yes.
But yeah, so you see, like he goes, "Zoom."
I love that. I love how they do that in this show.
Yeah. Which is a maneuver you could only do in space planes.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you were in an F-14, that would kill you.
Yeah.
But
that would be a wing delete.
Yeah. And then, meanwhile, I do like that Adama tells the defense Vipers that they can stop running and tear them to pieces.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, look, I think I can fly inside here," and because I think I saw that in another movie where so he literally flies inside a tunnel to try and get to the interior of the base. And of course, I like.
Yeah, Terry Matalas is definitely a Ronald D. Moore fan.
Yeah, because
they got it all out of the way in one go here. Because that's two Death Stars worth of inspiration happening right here in this one scene. A trench run, and then you're inside a big structure.
Well,
right. But then we have
this is the Enterprise D right here.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, this is basically Enterprise D in the Borg cube right now.
Yeah.
Alex Moore called it out too. That's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's and the Cylons are basically the Borg, so they're cybernetic beings. So
they're the sexiest damn Borg I've ever seen. They can assimilate me. Shit, as long as it's one of the Trisha Helfer models.
Wow, listen to you. You're just a horrible.
Unless they reveal that lip gloss is a Cylon, I don't know. Like Helfer's the hottest one so far.
Well, you forgot Xena's a Cylon.
Yeah, I've never really been attracted to Xena. Any woman that just looks like she could kick my ass, whether she could or not, I'm just not into that.
That's enough to freak you out, is it?
Yeah, Even though Trisha Helfer's probably like a black belt in Taekwondo or some shit, she doesn't look like she.
Well, any of the Cylons could.
Well, yeah.
That's the problem there.
Yeah. That's a good question, Stanley. I've been often wondering that myself.
Do they get live updates?
Yeah. It says how do the memories?
What's their OS?
Yeah.
Well, how do the memories work for each model? Do they get live updates? I don't know if he's being sarcastic, but these were serious questions I had during the watch-alongs. Which again, if you go to sportsalty.com, for just $5. You can view the watch-alongs of every single one of these
Not
episodes
overdo it now.
for just $5. I'm just kidding. Well, it's kind of a comedy bit now. Although we have not talked about our show's sponsor. We're an hour and a half in.
Yeah, you did. You mentioned it earlier.
I just mentioned it. I gave them y'all's address.
More than mention it.
I know, right? I got my.
I'm still waiting for my sample pack.
I was just explaining this to you. So they actually updated our page too. Here, let me share.
Oh, you mean we don't have the good picture anymore?
No, we have a better picture now.
No, so we don't have the good picture.
Does it have a valid Twitter address on it?
It has no Twitter address on it because it's
see,
it's the three of
that's
us
not as
now.
Good.
It's perfect. What are you talking about? It's all of us. You got the referee.
It's better when it's just
the
Jason.
Fight. Nah. But I tell you what, they sent me. So I got mine in the mail. So Michael, you should be getting yours soon. And Jason, I do apologize. Getting mine in the mail today reminded me to send her your. So I just sent her your address.
Wow.
Okay. Hey, look, it took me a week to get it to you. So
yeah.
Hey, I think we're just par for the course. So
yeah. So I'm looking forward to trying rest tonight because I do have sleep issues. So I am, and I'll give you guys a full report on that tomorrow after one use. And I've always said that this one here, the fruit punch, is my favorite flavor anyway. And you can drink that throughout the day. Now, Fuel Up Wake, I got to warn you guys, it's got like 5 times more caffeine than a cup of coffee or a Coca-Cola. It's got like 180 something grams of or milligrams or whatever of caffeine, which is a lot. So, but it's also got a lot of really good stuff. But I just recently discovered this fact when I was trying to make sure it was good for Jason because I didn't want to or for Michael because I didn't want to lie about certain things. And really the only thing I could conceive anybody could perceive as a negative is got 180 milligrams of caffeine. But I ain't got no problem with that because that means instead of drinking 5 cups of coffee, I just drink one of these things and I'm good. But the point is, don't drink more than one of these a day. The Fuel Up Wake. So
I was gonna say I do burn through a pot of coffee, so challenge accepted.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so if you go through our page, you get the free shipping. You can sign up for like a subscription type service, or you can just try it once. You can get all 3. You can get 2 of them. You can just get 1. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, so yeah, the link is in the description. I think I pinned it in my chat. But check out our sponsor, Fuel Up. They help support the show. That keeps you guys, all 9 or 10 of you, entertained. I do believe. So
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Well, if there's as much caffeine,
we have 15 people. So I mean, it's just like,
well, if there's as much caffeine as it says,
it's
we'll
got
see
2.
how-
It's got 2. Yeah. What was the sugar? What was the sugar count on that again?
It's only 2 grams or something like that.
2, yeah, it was very low. It's very low. Let me pull it back up. I don't want to misspeak. So 2 grams of sugar and only 6 grams of carbs. And the carbs matter more to me really than the sugar because I'm not diabetic. But yeah, it's really low. Good stuff. All right, there we go. We got our. I don't know if it's kosher, Stanley, but I could take it to a synagogue and have a rabbi bless it for you if you want. All right.
Well, it's not about having a rabbi bless it. It's kosher is about how it's prepared.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. See, I'm not Jewish. I thought it just meant a rabbi blessed it or something.
No, you just have to make sure it didn't
like holy
cross with other foods or whatever.
Yeah, holy water is blessed water. Kosher is about how something is prepared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, it's kosher is a whole different animal.
Well, cool. That I always wondered as a kid. I was like, man, we always get these giant jars of kosher dill pickles. Is there some rabbi somewhere in a warehouse just constantly blessing all of these?
Yeah, all the pickles are going by.
Actually, you know what? If you ever want to know what it means if something is kosher, read the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Because the Old Testament teaches you how to make kosher food.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was a kid, I grew up on a sheep farm, and we used to raise kosher lamb, and so you had to know how to properly slaughter the animal and stuff. So, If you didn't know how to properly slaughter an animal, then it wouldn't be kosher.
Without generalizing too hard, it basically reads like instructions on how to prepare food when you have absolutely no medical industry anywhere within 1,000 years of you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Basically, don't eat food that will probably kill you, and this is how to prepare the foods so that they also still won't kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure maybe it qualifies as kosher, Stanley. It's all like vitamins and minerals and
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
Yeah. Generally, no pork, no blood.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it?
No,
Yeah. It's not food.
Yeah, and certain foods aren't allowed to cross with each other.
Right.
Oh yeah, the cross contamination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cross contamination is a big one. All right, so moving on. So so Lee decides to pull off the hybrid trench maneuver / dive into the superstructure maneuver from Star Wars and Return of the Jedi, and which granted, is, or maneuver through the Borg cube, if you will, because we all knew that of course. Picard season 3 did everything better. And then he ends up in the middle of the Borg cube, the Cylon base, which does look a lot like the middle of a Borg cube.
A little bit.
Just saying.
Hey man,
well, there's like fuel balls and stuff all over the place.
Yeah, this is like I'm convinced now, like we've talked about in the past. Terry Metalis is clearly a Ronald D. Moore fan.
Yeah. And at the end of the show, I found an awesome picture that proves that Rian Johnson just copied the entire Battlestar series.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll bring that up when we're done this.
So Lee then spots the actual target as spotted by Baltar on a wild guess, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was a great scene. We kind of breezed right over that earlier.
Yeah.
That was a great scene where all of a sudden Head Six is talking to him, and then he just, and I gotta just point at the screen here. Yeah. That's the spot. Yes.
But he actually happened to be right. Remember
I know.
Lucky son bitch, just like he did with.
Well, wasn't that moment where he kind of believed that literally the hand of God.
The hand of God. Yeah.
That's what he decides at the end of this episode. Is that he is literally the hand of God.
Yeah.
And then here we get that beautiful shot of Apollo flying away. Bam.
Yeah.
And the whole place blown to smithereens. And the clip that I play at the end of the music there, where he says "Mission accomplished," everybody cheering, and tell Baltar he was right
George
on the
W.
money.
Bush came out with a big banner and started.
Yeah.
Mission
accomplished.
I was actually going to show a picture of that.
Oh, that would have been funny.
But then. So, and everybody's celebrating, getting their booze on, which it's amazing how much booze everybody seems to have for these post-mission celebrations.
Between the booze and the cigars, I don't know if, you know what? Actually, here we go. Booze and cigars are the photon torpedoes of this series.
Yes, they seem to keep coming up with it.
Yeah. You know that bit of a joke with Voyager, right, Danny?
Yes. Yeah. Because they've been in the Delta Quadrant, and yet they never.
Yeah, but they keep coming up with fresh booze and cigars.
No, I was looking at something. I didn't want to misspeak, so Stanley is correct. Back to our host, or not host, but sponsor. The Wake does have 3 grams. The other 2 only have 2 grams. And the Wake has 7 grams of carbs, not 6. The other 2 have 6. But it's only 25 calories. So, but yeah, 180 milligrams of caffeine. along with vitamin A, C, E, B6, B12, niacin, all kinds of good stuff, magnesium, potassium.
Oh, wait. Stuff. I know. Even better. So cigars and alcohol. So 2 things. So is this like the bread and fishes? It just never runs out.
Yeah.
So somewhere on the ship, there's like Jesus is hiding and just making more and more.
Yeah.
And so then we get the tearjerker moment for you.
Ah, yeah. Up comes the music again. Out comes the lighter.
Yeah.
Stupid Irish music.
Yeah.
He tosses it to his dad, and they have a nice little moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just like nod at a distance, just like, yeah.
And so, and I know Danny cried as he caught the lighter.
So look, the only way fans of ours are going to be able to confirm or not, or not, if that actually happened, is for $5.
They know
salty.com.
They know you cried.
Actually, you know what the more interesting game is trying to figure out if Danny and I were crying at the same time. Turn that into a puzzle game, and then you can make a drinking game out of it.
The simple fact is, everybody knows you were crying, Danny.
I wasn't sobbing, but yes, I had to do this, and I took my glasses off and had to wipe my tears away.
Yeah, we don't tend to block our camera when we happen to blow our nose. We only usually mute, so you could start figuring out just how many times the waterworks come on when the tissues come out.
Yeah.
And then this is the part where Baltar comes to the realization that he is in fact the hand of God.
Yes.
Because he
and look at him.
I know. I love this, like that sort of outstretched arms, and the chest being bared, and
the hair. It's like,
yes.
I really I enjoy this character of Baltar. I'm very, very, very curious to see how he ends up. What's going on with Head 6? Like, what the hell is that about? If he's actually a Cylon, or one of these. Maybe he's like the only successful, good-looking hybrid. I don't know, man, but something's going on with him. I got to figure out what it is, or just wait till we finish the show. So that was it. Is that That was the end, right?
That was the end of the episode.
That was it. Hand of God. It literally ends with the hand of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there it is. So Danny, what did you think? I know you cried a couple of times.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was like 2 times that choked me up a little bit with the father-son relationship. I like the character development with Starbuck. Sorry, spaced on that for a second. And I love the space battle scenes. In fact, in one of the episodes we just recently watched, where Starbuck was flying and she did that cool like flip move to turn around. Like that's just only possible in space.
I think you're talking about Scar.
Was it that episode? That was
that Top Gun-y kind of episode.
Yeah, it was a Top Gun episode, not Scar.
Yeah.
Was Scar the Top Gun episode?
That was the Top Gun episode. Yeah.
Damn, that episode's good. But I love the space battles. This up till this point, because I don't agree with you overall, because I know this, Michael's your favorite episode of season 1. This is my favorite episode up to this. In fact, actually, because the Scars in season 2, this might be my favorite episode of season 1. We'll find out. But this is so far, it's my new favorite episode up to this point.
Yeah.
So I liked it a lot. That, my man Baltar, like, what a beautiful way to end the show. Just, if I knew Latin, I'd start doing that whole.
So, yeah, again, like my hot take at the start, it was an episode where when we got to the real serious, the steak, and not just the potatoes, that the episode got really crazy. And even though there was that whole obvious inspiration for how they set up the end of the battle, it was just well done. It's a good episode again. From an action perspective, it's the best episode in season 1. But from a complete package perspective, it's still not. For me, it's not the best one in the season. For me, it's going to be basically the season finales, like the basically the 2-part season finale. So,
we'll you know me. I've been saying every week, except for like one so far, right? I think only one week I didn't say this was my favorite episode. On these recordings anyway, on the live streams. I mean, not the recordings.
Season 1, you were saying that a lot.
Yeah, I said
yeah. You were feeling bad. You're like, why does it?
Yeah, I think all of season 1, I say that for every episode. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm repeating myself. However, this is now my favorite episode.
Yeah, but Lisa, yes, that's the whole point of this. So we're doing watch-alongs right now. On the weekends, we do them off air, but he records them for the Patreon thing that I've been, goofily pimping the whole stream. And we're on season 2, episode 17. But thanks to this man over here, did his research. So we watched episode 16, then we watched Razor, the movie. Yeah. And now when we get together Saturday, we're going to watch episode 17.
Downloaded, which is a acid trip.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Lisa, since you are new here,
that's the one where we find out Baltar's a song on.
Ha ha ha. Oh, it's also the one where Six and Ty bang, right? Anyway.
No. Six and Ty don't bang till next season.
Oh, okay. So what I was going to say, Lisa, is if you ever want to see our reactions, if you go, that is a real, if you go to supportsalty.com, it just forwards you to his Patreon page where he uploads all the videos. Which episode have you, because I'm not a Patreon, I don't know. What's your latest?
It's still a ways back there. So
is it? Okay.
I still have to get I'm going to be working on that this week to try and get some videos uploaded because I have been neglecting that. And unfortunately, thanks to some changes in software availability, I'm going
to work on that.
That's all right. I'll deal with it.
The dude will abide, to use a movie reference.
Dude abides. T Stoney, welcome. I don't know if you were watching on double speed or if you're way behind.
Yeah, because you're way behind if you're talking about dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was like 45 minutes
he
ago.
He did and he didn't.
Yeah. So here's the I'll bring it into an image editor so it's easier to
what's this? So you guys watched it in real time, and apparently so did Lisa. I did not. There was a writer's strike that caused it.
Yeah, that was the last writer's strike was 15 years ago. So there was part of the impact on Battlestar was that it heavily delayed between season 2 and season 3. So, and one of the things, and I only really learned this with this recent writer's strike, was that if there's any adjustments. There was a
writer's strike in 2008, so they had one in 2004 also, or 2005.
No, I thought it was further back than. Well, no, because remember, don't forget, by the time you get to season 2, season 3, we're already up to 2007.
Okay.
So maybe it was a gap in the middle of season 3. Maybe that's what it was. I know there was this huge gap where it's like 9 or 10 months between episodes at one point, and maybe it was in the middle of season 3. Without me running out and checking, maybe Lisa will.
Oh, that's fine. Lisa seems to remember. If you want to chime in on that, Lisa, let us know in the chat, please. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's bring up the funny meme that I did find here though.
Yeah, silly Hollywood creatives and their strikes.
So, tracked an enemy after jumping to light speed. Seduced by an invisible enemy only you can see. So that was the whole when they were Skype calling in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drastically reduced number of survivors for drama. And of course, that's Skippy looking out the window as all the little ships start getting blown up.
Yeah.
Deeply regrettable attempted mutiny. Now, you don't know about this on the left, but we won't explain why.
Yeah.
And then sacred
hair anyway.
Yeah, and then sacred texts, Book of Pythia, and then the Jedi books, little library there. So it's hitting the story beats a little hard, that's for sure. I mean, was it what do they say? Imitation and flattery and whatnot, but sometimes it's just pure laziness.
Sometimes, man. I get why people were saying that now about The Last Jedi, because I hadn't, when Last Jedi came out and everybody on Twitter was saying stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, and I did actually find an article. That stated for sure, like what you were saying about some Rolling Stone interview, that he did admit that he felt that he was inspired by the storytelling within Battlestar. Yeah.
You see, I had never heard that, but
that's super new to me. But now that someone actually went through the trouble to figure out where the commonalities were, it starts to get a little bit more obvious.
Right.
What's this?
We've talked about
Laura
this.
was first lady and president. Yeah, that's true. She got an upgrade. She went from first lady to president.
Yeah. And I was going to say died in both, but the hand of God cured her cancer. So
did she die in
Independence Day? Yes.
Yes.
That's right. She died once she was back at the base. That's right. They got her all the way back to the base. Yeah.
They got her all the way back to the base. Yeah, man. Oh God, that scene.
Yeah.
I hate thinking about because he lies to his daughter and has her run along, and he sits there, and then, oh God. I got it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how certain? I love that movie. I just watched it again because I know I brought it up probably like a month or two ago.
It's such a watchable movie.
It really is
for such a schlock sci-fi movie. It really is very watchable.
Yeah,
I still love how it has the most inspirational random speech ever with the most enthusiastic salute in the history of all histories, fiction and reality. Was that airman on the ground who just like, yeah,
America,
I'd vote for you.
Russell T, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, such a good movie.
In the words of my generation,
I wish I never watched
yours.
I wish I never watched the second one. To be honest with you, that's why I had.
The second one was so bad.
That's why I always watched it on or around the 4th of July. So I watched it again to get the bad taste because it was not good. They should have never made that movie.
No, I think I've watched it twice, and that was one too many times.
Yeah, no, I would say the once I watched it was one too many times. I preferred not knowing the fates. It's kind of like with Indiana Jones 5, man. Didn't need to be made.
Yeah.
Wish I hadn't watched it.
Indiana Jones 4 didn't need to be made.
Yeah,
I agree with that as well.
Which I said before it was made.
Yeah, I mean, it had the perfect ending. Indy and Sullivan, his dad all right off into the sunset with Marcus. It's like, come on, man.
Now, granted, I said the Picard didn't need to be made before Picard season 1.
Yeah.
Resurrecting these geriatric characters is a bad idea.
Well, especially in the way that they get done quite frequently. Yeah.
And they seem to be all playing out of the same textbook. Let's jump to our childhood hero in the future when he's older, and instead of him being happy and successful, he's miserable, lonely, broken down, damn near suicidal, has definite depression. In Han Solo and Harrison, or I guess Harrison Ford, both Han Solo and Indiana Jones both lose their wife, both lose their kid. I really thought Indy was going to die, at the end, and then I could say they both die. But then they did the same thing with Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker was a grumpy old curmudgeon, wanted to be left alone, didn't want to live, dies at the end of the movie. It's just like, I don't understand why they do this. The only saving grace for Picard, quite frankly, was Terry Matalas in season 3. And I'm so glad. Like, I wish they'd have never made seasons 1 and 2, because season 3.
Well, it would have actually probably let them have a lot more leeway with what they did in season 3. If season 3 was season 1 without the baggage of season 1 and 2, there's a strong chance. No, I'm saying that if we could have manipulated the timeline so that Terry was part of that creative process for the very first run of Picard. So basically, if Sir Patrick Stewart was told to get the hell out of the writer's room.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what we got, was Patrick Stewart's story.
The last 3 things Stanley says I want to point out, because I agree. He says he wished he could just remember Indy riding off into the sunset with his dad. No wedding, no kid, no divorce. Way better just imagining he lived a long, full life of more adventures.
Exactly.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, this is right up there with, I remember one time, I can't remember who it was who said it. I remember one time, Mike, you kicked back and said, no, we do not need a SETI Alpha 5 or 6, what happened to Khan on the planet.
Right.
There's just so many things that we don't need, that don't need to be touched, don't need to be made. I think we were talking about this the other day.
This is SETI Alpha 5!
Exactly.
Every time.
Exactly.
Well, the only... unless you're going to reboot the show, unless you're like I said, like if you're doing Strange New Worlds as a reboot and you want to bring in, like, because we have Khan that we've kind of semi rebooted now with the
the weird
with what they did
Toronto timeline.
Yeah,
there we go. We'll call this the Toronto timeline.
Toronto timeline. There we go.
Yeah. So with the Toronto timeline, with that Khan, if you want to reboot
your video,
if you want to reboot it with that, that's fine. But don't try to say that this is that Khan, that this is the original Ricardo Montalban Khan.
Yeah, that interview that dipshit gave Akiva Goldsman was stupid. Him trying, like, he makes me so sick. Just call it a damn reboot, man. Call it a timeline or
well,
whatever.
they're afraid of the word, because what they're afraid of is that that they're going to piss off some fans by calling it a reboot. And you know what? Yeah, you're going to piss off some fans by calling it a reboot, but you're pissing off more fans by not calling it a reboot.
Well, yeah, see, and to tie it back to us talking Battlestar today.
Which we still need your final thoughts on, sir.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, Mike. That's right.
Yeah. Well,
let's do.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's your favorite season 1 episode, so it's kind of hard to get too much past that. So I am glad there's a writer's strike on right now, because it means that it's absolutely giving us a ton of leverage against these maniacs that think that there needs to be a reboot of Battlestar, because they're actually, because I don't know if I mentioned that to you enough times yet, Danny, to make it stick, but they were seriously considering doing a full reboot of Battlestar.
No, you'd mentioned that, but here's
crazy.
I think the Writers Guild is stupid. They picked the worst time to go on strike, because all of this terrible garbage is coming out that's flopping, whether it's streaming or in the theaters, and we're starting to realize, hey man, you writers aren't as good as you think you are. So maybe something's got to change. Maybe instead of like a union where we pay all you dipshits the same thing, good, bad, or indifferent, we create a meritocracy system where we reward the guys that make us money and we fire the idiots that lose us money. If we do that like we used to do that, we don't get to check the boxes. Oops, sorry, there goes that idea.
Yeah, well, and it's not just the writers, but it's also the creative directors need to be held to account a lot better, as far as I'm concerned. Because last Thursday, when we were talking the Strange New Worlds, I was bringing up some stuff, and I think it was during the show. But anyway, I know I've looked at this, and some of the things that are just crazy is the people that are involved in the writing of Strange New Worlds are all sitcom writers.
Right.
Like
Is
girly
that true?
sitcom writers.
They don't have
Yeah, you go look at
any decent.
there are no
guys
science
or
fiction
girl?
writers involved.
The problem is that there haven't.
So that's
not
going to make
been-
sense. You guys are probably going to hate tonight's episode because it's a full-blown comedy episode. It really is. And
well, if it's done right,
you know who the
if
main
it's
character
done,
is? Has there been a
Trek-
trailer for it?
Yes,
I haven't watched it
This
yet.
is the one where Spock becomes human.
Oh yeah, this is Spock human.
Yeah, and
one,
he basically turns into a teenage boy going through puberty, and it's freaking hilarious. But
If
it's not.
it's-
It's not like. But it's
no,
not sci-fi.
if it's done,
you know what I mean.
if it's done tonally right, it'll still be enjoyable, and that'll be
Okay.
fine.
Well,
the
I
only thing
enjoyed
that
it,
saves, the only thing that's going to save it for sure is we know that the actors are going to they're going to go full Patrick Stewart season 1, and they're going to sell this thing as hard as they can because they've been doing an excellent job at this all the way through. But yeah, the reason why I brought up the creative directors is because some of these people are heavily involved with the selection of the writing team. And these people are absolutely not capable of selecting the right people to write these shows. And it's really starting to build up. And it's just
you look at places
yeah.
like Marvel where that memo got out where they we're not hiring fans of the characters or the comics to write the what the hell kind of retarded thought process is that? No, I want a Terry Metalis helming. I want somebody who loves the IP and will treat it.
Well, Terry's still not. Terry's just a fan. You need super fans. You know what you need? And I'll give you the perfect example. Henry Cavill and The Witcher.
Yeah,
he quit.
Dude, he's being proven so right. Did you see Gary Nerdrotic's video about that?
Yeah, I did watch that. But I'll tell you what. All I need to know for that is me. I in no way whatsoever have any interest, even though he's still in the show. I am not even going to click on the info link on Netflix.
Oh, I'm just
for
going to hit
season
the
3.
thumbs down on it. I'm not.
That's
I'm
it.
Not gonna
I'm out.
touch
I don't need. I don't need it.
Because
they've
if Gary's got a good track record. If he's to be believed, yeah, sure. Henry Cavill's in it, but he's been reduced to a side.
Oh yeah, they practically they fridged him.
Yeah.
Without fridging him. And the worst part is that the deviations have gone so far off the reservation.
Patrick,
from
thanks for hanging out with us till 2 a.m. your time. I appreciate you, man.
Well, first of all, I don't know jack about The Witcher, so I can't speak about that. But what I will say is that I don't.
You guys going to tell Patrick good night? I mean, he's got to go to bed.
I did. Yes,
I did.
I said it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
But I don't think you necessarily have to have fans of the specific franchise or the specific character. What I think you need is to have people that are willing to take the material seriously. And because I think about what is considered to be universally the best Star Trek of all, Star Trek II, made by non-fans. All right, so
that's true.
They did their homework. They were professionals that did their homework.
Well, now you're actually leaning into what he's saying though, and I have to kind of sort us back off what I was saying and have to agree.
Well, I mean,
what you really need,
what you need,
correct, but I like
what you need is professionals. What you need is people that know how to make science fiction.
Not these entitled millennials that want to join a union so they can get a guaranteed paycheck to pump out crap that ChatGPT can do better.
Take them out.
I'm getting heated, man.
I don't even care what generation they are. I'm just saying if they can produce quality sci-fi, I don't care what generation they are. I just want them to be professional. I want them to be good at sci-fi.
You're right. I don't mean to stereotype or whatever, but stereotypes are there, are a thing for a reason. So I do have a question, Jason. You said the writers' room's mostly comedy, sitcom writers. Can you get me the median age? Are you able to figure that out? Do you have
I'd have to actually go digging into each one of their credentials. But the reality is the one of the things
I bet dollars to donuts they're millennials.
Well, do you know the TV show Ugly Betty?
No.
It was on way back in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, so probably a Gen Xer.
So
not on my radar.
Do you know who America Ferrera is?
I've heard the name. Okay. I've heard the name. Yeah.
Well, anyway, she was the main character for that show.
She was in one movie, right? She was.
She was in the Traveling Pants or whatever movie way back in the day.
That movie. I had to
Sisterhood
see
of
that
the Sisterhood of the Traveling
Pants.
Pants.
I had to
Yeah.
watch that with my ex-wife. So that's the only.
But
piece of
yeah,
work that
she played Ugly Betty on the show Ugly Betty, which I very much enjoyed for what it was supposed to be. I watched it with my wife. I had a good time laughing. It's a very girly focused sitcom. She's this I want to be a fashion designer at a big fashion house in New York City. And what made it
in college age or something, or graduated college?
No, fully an adult, like young adult.
Okay.
She's yeah. So it's not teenage level. It's all adults. But what made it kind of funny for me is the mother, and I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, her real name. The mother from Who's the Boss is the head of, not the old lady mother, but like.
The one Tony Danza always had the sexual chemistry with.
Yeah, exactly. She plays the head of this huge advertising fashion thing. She was still,
she might not be now, but I didn't know if she had any work after Who's the Boss.
So for me, it was kind of that was a form of nostalgia bait for me, because I was like, okay, I got to watch this because she's in it. And I enjoyed it.
Michael, why are you off screen? What's going on?
Sorry.
No, his.
You got to fix your
camera's not tracking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
I had to turn my auto tracking off. It was driving Brian.
Yeah, that's why you notice I've got the much wider frame right now.
Yeah,
I turned mine off because I was getting annoyed with it.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, I very much enjoyed it for what it was, but it's not science fiction. And it's definitively not targeted at your average guy.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the writers, at least one, so saying some is inaccurate because technically right now I only know for sure there was one, but there's one writer from that show that was a big writer on that show that has written several or co-written several episodes of Strange New Worlds. And when you look at the ones that they wrote, you're like, okay, that makes sense now. And yeah, you want to bring someone like that in for, this comedic type episode that we're going to get tonight / tomorrow morning for me.
I offered. If you want.
Yeah.
Nothing illegal about what I'm saying. We're reviewers.
No, dude. God. You are not authorized. So yes.
Yes, I am.
No, you are not.
In fact,
on
a permanent list.
You are.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Unless it has your name on it, you better be quiet.
We'll talk after. We'll talk off screen. We'll talk because I'm making moves, man. I'm making moves, brother. Let me tell you something.
You're climbing to the top of the cage.
Yeah. The cream always rises to the top, and I am the cream of the crop. Oh yeah. You get the reference.
So yeah, I do. Yeah. Mike just knows for sure right away. If I start giggling, he's like, "Yeah, all right, I've lost control. You're off the panel.
You're fired."
Yeah. I've got my hand on the end broadcast button.
So long story short, if it's appropriate to the story that you're about to try to tell, bring in the appropriate writers for that. But man, we are lacking. We are lacking good decision making at the upper management level for the production of these shows. We're lacking. I think I've heard a few people talk about the fact that some of these things, the writers' rooms, don't even actually have creative, like a head writer or creative director that's managing a lot of this stuff. Wow. They're basically just given instructions, and I don't necessarily mean for Strange New Worlds, but just in general.
Yeah.
The problem, though, and I've said this before, but the problem is not the composition of the writers' room. The problem is the existence of the writers' room. And if you look at what I think was the best written Star Trek series, which was the original series for its day, was the best.
Sure.
Written,
there's
Star Trek
hands
series.
Down. You had DC Fontana, you had Harlan Ellison, you had real science fiction writers who had written science fiction novels and other science
Heck,
fiction.
you had Robert Bloch. You had
like
you
oh my
had,
god.
But anyway,
but it's so hard to grasp.
Larry Niven wrote an episode of the animated series, but who was science fiction royalty back then. But the difference was that there was no writer's room. Okay, you had a script supervisor. That was DC Fontana. And so DC Fontana's job was basically to go over the scripts and made sure that there was some.
And she was done. She was done dirty.
Well, I'm just saying, but her job was to make sure that there was some manner of continuity.
I got a question. Wasn't Discovery the show that did her dirty? Like, no, that was Strange New Worlds. It was Strange New Worlds.
They didn't do her dirty.
They didn't give her credit for the backstory of Una, right? That was DC Fontana.
You're okay.
There's something I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
So people make it out that they stole this from her because she put it in a Star Trek novel, and yes, they used it. However, they owned the story.
They could have at least given her a thanks at the end of the credits.
Yeah, they could have, and for whatever reason they didn't. And you know what?
That did bother me.
Lucasfilm has done that 100 times over with various things that they've lifted from Star Wars novels, and people haven't made a big stink over it.
The hardcore expanded universe fans have. I was never a hardcore. I'd only read the Dark Empire and a handful.
But you know
what?
It's just something that's done. It's part of their expanded universe, and they just decided to use it.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal. It's their property.
Still effed up, man. You should give the people who came up. It's the same thing with like comics.
I get it, but you know what?
All right, that's a discussion for another day. I get it. Yeah.
But the point of what I'm saying is that the original series didn't have a writer's room. They just hired writers.
Yeah.
All right, and so they would say, "Hey, Robert Bloch, you want to write a Halloween episode?" And Robert Bloch would be like, "Sure," and he wrote Cat's Paw. You know,
so you just made me think of an excellent analogy. So in effect, by having a writer's room, you get the story equivalent of the joke that we make about the platypus. It was the animal that was made by committee.
Yeah. And that is, and unfortunately, with a writer's room, you get a more consistent, and so TNG had a writer's room, and so with TNG you have a more consistent show, but it's also, to me, and so that's why with TNG, once they found their footing after the first couple of seasons, you didn't have as many real bad episodes. Like you didn't get episodes like,
they were taking fan submissions back during the TNG days,
early days. Yeah.
In the early days, but not in the later days. But the point is they had a writer's room. And so you had more consistent work. And so
can I say something before I forget it? Because it's about his platypus joke. I don't think I've ever heard that before. I have heard that the platypus is how you know God has a sense of humor, but I haven't heard the one that you said.
You've never heard the committee joke before?
So I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
That's proof God has a committee. And by the way, Ronald D. Moore got his start in that writer's room. So
at Next Gen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing is that, and so Next Gen became very consistent. It made it so that Next Gen didn't have as many really bad episodes, but it also made it so that it didn't shine quite as often as either.
Well, actually, kind of an interesting thing to bring up on this is and this actually kind of plays off of Danny, you talking about them a lot of fans submitting script ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Next Gen actually developed and maintained a style guide for the show with rules about what you could and couldn't do, and you can even find references to it in publications like the Enterprise D Technical Manual, where you can find footnotes that talk about. Bye, Lisa.
Oh, bye, Lisa. Thanks for stopping by.
You'll find footnotes that even point to things like that crazy episode where they accidentally created a resurrection machine with the transporter when Picard got crossed together with that energy entity in a cloud, and then at one point the energy entity tricked them or made them go back, and they didn't understand what was going on, and then beamed Picard's body back into space as pure energy, and then they just used his last copy of his transporter pattern to just reconstitute him back on the pad, and they actually had to go into the writer's style guide or whatnot for the show and say, that's it, you can't do that again. We let that one go by, and then that's it.
Yeah, I actually asked, I think this came up in a previous stream with you guys, but I believe the answer is no, right? Michael,
most studios do not. No, not anymore. No. Because that's one of the things that the Writers Guild will.
I don't think they're legally allowed to now because of the Writers Guild.
Because of the writers, yeah.
And that's the thing. The writers want to have the Writers Union wants to have a monopoly on writing, and that's one of the things that lowers the quality of writing, is that writers don't have to worry about competition. And quite frankly, the writing now is lazy.
I honestly hope this strike goes on like until they just give up, until they can't make their mortgage payments or anything. Like, it should be a meritocracy. I have not ever been.
It's never going to be a meritocracy. That's the problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just have to hope for the best and plan for the worst.
Hollywood is a deeply entrenched left-wing institution, and that means unions. And so because the leftists believe hardcore that unions are the best way to go. And
I get unions for dangerous construction jobs or something like that, but for a creative venture like writing, I don't know, man. I'm not saying I think I think you got to look at each instance, like what's best for
I think the problem extends a little bit further than even union type stuff or leftist type stuff. I think the problem is that whole area, because it's all done in one geographic area for the most part. It's turned into a giant echo chamber, and to use a bit of a maybe slightly misplaced meme statement, they need to get out and touch grass, because they're stuck in this realm where they don't understand that there's a whole other world of audiences out there, and not just necessarily audiences in the United States and Canada, but across the planet.
Right.
And they think that what they see where they are is all there is.
Right.
So like the distortion field is extremely high. And I don't know.
Right. They think everybody thinks the way they do.
Yeah.
They genuinely do.
Sounds like Hollywood needs an enema. Anyway.
This town needs an enema.
Hollywood, I think, needs a little more than an enema.
Well, they're giving themselves something right now, that's for sure.
Hollywood needs some polyps removed. Anyway.
There's a bombshell to end on.
Yeah. So I think Doomcock should go into Hollywood and start just cutting out the polyps.
Yeah.
We'll give him.
Hey, well, then he would be doing a service to humanity, and I might become a fan. But until such time,
I say
Sorry. What?
Can't not.
No. You know what you do? See, you gotta get creative writing going. He's self-representing a little too strongly right now. You do get it, right? What you coughed under your breath and his name.
You are the salt of the earth. I am the salty trekker. I hate these guys.